The knee, cartilage of the knee, replacing it. We'll first position the leg as described in the text. So the space between the bones is widest open, and we can easily check that by moving the foot fore and aft until we discover the largest presentation of little cavity here on the lateral side, a more pronounced one on the medial side. This one's easy to detect. It's a large cavity, easy to center up on. On the lateral side, it's a much more tiny one. So we want to make certain that we're at the location between the bones, between the femur and the tibia. Then we'll cross, take an independent grasp with each hand in that manner, crossing the thumbs. We can place our elbows, arms on our legs, rest on them, so that we have both a independent grip in that manner, and we can sustain it with the pressure from the legs itself. A good firm lash up that we can hold for a considerable period of time. In this position, we're going to move fingertips back and forth very carefully to detect whether or not the cartilages butt together. And if we get a slack response, not a good transmission, that feels as though it goes clear through the knee, then we're going to say we have to replace cartilage. And wherever that becomes apparent, we're going to make certain that we open up the popliteal space between the hamstring tendons and the back of the knee, using one hand and then the other rather than both at the same time. It'll interfere. And stroke well down, pressing it into the calf, then back to the breaking up movement until there's no more to be broken up or moved through there, that space becomes very open and clear. It's a breaking up movement that feeds downward. If there were heat in the knee, we'd use the palms in particular and alternate the strokes in this manner. Bring the heat and the painful aspect out. That means that as sure as we have to replace cartilage of the knee, we have to make certain that this is open and free here, because if it's obstructed in behind the knee, it keeps an internal pressure inside the capsule of the joint, and the cartilages cannot move back into position as they should. So it's very important, this preparatory thing. Then we can go back to our original, and because we're going to have to sustain this pressure maybe for some several minutes, we can learn to place our middle finger on top of the index finger. Gradually increase the pressure now. We're bringing the semilunar cartilages into position, moving them in together. As we gradually increase pressure, it will yield. We can feel the depressions under our fingertip appear more pronounced. And finally, we press it home. We'll say we follow through. And then we can use our detection method to make certain that we do have the very responsive contact clear through the knee. After replacing, we'll always go to massaging to bring blood and circulation into the areas where we gave the heavier pressure. We're going to massage with the thumb each side to reach above and bring circulation down to the point where we gave the heavy pressure. Be thorough with that as well. And we can go back to a little more of this. We began with And then we'd ask them to stand and walk, and we'd want them to move straight ahead over the knee, not to try to rotate, twist it. But use it as a hinge only. And more often they'll pronounce it. It feels really right, feels strong, gives them good assurance or support. Once in a while they're going to mention point here or on the medial side where it's still sensitive, they're aware of it as they walk. We may have to open up, feeding through underneath the patella to where we'd say this tendon, the patella is embedded in, where it inserts in the tibia. We feed right into the insertion. On either side as needed. It's a cleaning out movement. And as we proceed with that, there's occasion where we'll feel that cartilage protrudes. And we'll use this joint of the thumb now to get into position where we can present firm pressure while we extend the leg smoothly and gently to replace cartilage in that manner. And if it were on the medial side, I'd again use that part of the thumb to do the same. And then we'd have them get up and walk. Now, by repeating that, if necessary, we get the joint to compact again, and it comes well and strong. The ligaments get fed, and it can become a dependable knee again. Cartilage of the knee.